CNBC contributor Dewardrick McNeal. He is senior policy analyst at Longview Global. Why don't you think it was a gaffe, so to speak, Dewardrick?
Kelly, I think the president was extremely clear that he was expressing what he believes the U.S. commitment to Taiwan is. And I want to be clear here. He was very clear also that the one China policy has not changed. So he made that statement himself. So walking it back by reiterating that statement doesn't do what the president was intending to do with this signal, which was signal to Beijing, signal to Taipei, and the rest of the world, Kelly, that U.S. commitments means things. And I think there's been some question about the strength and veracity of U.S. commitments after what we saw happen with ISIS and the fight against the Taliban and how that wound down. But Biden was clear that the commitment to Taiwan, at least, is sacrosanct. And I'll tell you, Kelly, that strategic ambiguity was based on a set of assumptions that, at least in terms of the president's view, no longer exists. Assumptions that China's military capabilities wouldn't outpace Taiwan's, that there would be some sort of a cross-strait dialogue to resolve this issue peacefully, that there would be rational leadership in Beijing that wouldn't make rash decisions. All those things the president seems to be signaling he doesn't believe exist anymore as the basic assumptions around strategic ambiguity. Therefore, clarity may be the best approach.
Well, if that was his intention, then this is a historic shift by the U.S., isn't it?
Look, I think to the point that that was made earlier, this has sort of been known that this commitment was out there. But again, it has not been this explicitly stated. So I think this is indeed a shift, at least in terms of how the president is thinking about this. China heard it, Taipei heard it, the rest of the world heard it, and we cannot walk this back. But I think the president did what he intended to do with the statement.
I asked Larry Lindsay, our guest, just a moment ago, about the significance for companies of the U.S. relation with China in light of Biden's statements as well. And he says those who haven't should, quote, hurry up and find a substitute supply chain. Not coincidentally, perhaps, we do see Apple exploring alternatives, again, hastened by the pandemic and some of the interruptions there. What do you think U.S. companies should do when it comes to their reliance on Chinese goods or services?
Look, I think it's a great question, Kelly. I think my statement would be you need to have a just in case because it is clear where this is headed. If you look at IPEF, the statement that the president made about the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, if you look at the statements about supply chain, it is clear to me that the president is stressing resilience and security over efficiency, and that the president and the administration is very uncomfortable with China being the single point of failure, not just for COVID and for some of the climate issues that we've seen that have snarled supply chains, but obviously for some of the geopolitical reasons as well. So I think it's good advice to have a just in case. I don't think that you should rush to get out of China now, but I think companies that are not thinking about a just in case are actually whistling past the graveyard here.
Wow, from just in time to just in case. That is a big shift in recent years. Dewardrick, thanks again for your time and thoughts today.
Thank you, Kelly.
Dewardrick McNeal.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.